Welcome, primary PE teachers, administrators, and anyone else who might be wanting to learn a little bit more about my Unit 1 plan that I have posted. I chose to post a kindergarten unit for our very first unit, Unit 1, mainly because this proves to be one of the most difficult units to teach due to the fact that these are our youngest scholars and everything is so new to them. I will walk you through the unit plan and provide rationale for why I did what I did and go over some of the PE specific connections that connect to the POI. I do want to give a very brief disclaimer that I am more than aware that many campuses are creating their own POI or maybe in the process of creating their own POI, and I don't by any means want to take away from that. So what I've posted is based on the Uplift suggested POI, and if your campus has a different POI that they are using, please do not hesitate to reach out to me, and we can work together as thought partners to figure out how these concepts can work with the information that you are expected to work with and connect to. With that being said, without further ado, let's look through this unit. I believe, I'm new to this, but I believe you can see the unit plan up here. And as you can tell, I am connecting to the kindergarten unit of inquiry, and the transdisciplinary theme is who we are. An inquiry into the nature of the self, beliefs, and values, personal, physical, mental, social, and spiritual health, human relationships, including families, friends, communities, and cultures, rights and responsibilities of what it means to be human. Okay, yes, that was a mouthful, and I promise you that will be the last of me insulting your intelligence by reading to you. However, just want to make sure we're all on the same page and that you actually have the correct unit plan. So, of course, this is a PYP unit plan for kinder. And that aligns to the primary physical education scope and sequence, and that's very important. Every unit that I will post will directly align to our scope and sequence. The central idea comes from the Uplift POI, but just as I mentioned before, keep in mind that your campus may have their own POI. I encourage you to check with your PYP dean to see what your central idea is. Okay, and I want to really emphasize that. Even if you're like, no, I know we're using the Uplift suggested, just double check before you dive into these unit plans and start putting the work in. Get with your PYP dean and make sure that you're on the same page as everyone else. Although this unit plan is connecting to the kinder central idea and unit of inquiry, one can easily connect the central idea to the activities and lessons that are part of the first, second, third, fourth, and even fifth grade scope and sequence. Okay, now let me provide a little clarification there. You can most certainly use these concepts, but please know that the other grade levels will probably have a different transdisciplinary theme and definitely a different central idea. So I don't want you to think, oh, well, yeah, no, this is specific to kindergarten when it comes to the PYP elements of the plan. I'm talking strictly physical education curriculum that you can tie in and really make it work with all grade levels, of course, with differentiation for rigor, and we need our older kiddos going much beyond personal space, of course. The central idea that I'm using is, as I mentioned earlier, family and friends make us who we are. The way I chose to connect this to our physical education lessons is to state safety helps us protect our neighbors and community. As we all know, safety is going to be key, and not just kindergarten classes here in the beginning with Unit 1, but all of our classes. And that's where I'm really trying to stress that this could be used across all grade levels. Now, with our kinder babies, we need to be sure that they understand that this central idea of safety helps us protect our neighbors and community. It takes the central idea for this grade level, but makes it more specific. Okay, so this idea of safety, it ties in the central idea of the PYP central idea, but we're making it more specific to physical education classes, because at the end of the day, that is what we're to be teaching. During this unit, K and first grade scholars should be focused on personal space and locomotor skills. We all, for the most part, know that's huge with our little ones this time of year, getting that down, because it's the foundation for everything else we're going to do the rest of the school year and beyond. All activities can easily be tied to safety, as all activities should be done with respect to safety rules. Let me preface this with saying, do not start diving into this unit before you have gone over and really gotten the safety rules down for your class. And not just safety, but rules in general. Whatever set of rules you might have. I keep mine very simple: hands to yourself, respect one another, what have you. But please do not start going into this unit until you have really gotten a handle on those rules with these particular scholars. I would start by showing a video clip from the movies How to Train a Dragon. There is several out there. I'll be honest, I haven't been able to find the exact clip that I like. So if you're not able to find one on that, you can also, there should be one from How to Train a Dragon that highlights the importance to keeping your hands to yourself. However, there are several videos, very short videos on YouTube about keeping your hands to yourself. Another way that I have actually put into, and I don't know if I can move this down. Oh, fabulous. I can't. That's okay. Another way that I feel would be very easy to go through and get the unit started, or provide a provocation, if you will, could be to do a live demonstration that you lead as the teacher by going and sitting very, very close to a scholar, and then following up with a conversation. And then when having all the scholars run or do some kind of movement in the gym and as a warm-up, and go and make a point to you yourself, go run or whatever movement you're doing very close to another scholar, maybe tap another scholar on the shoulder. And then, of course, immediately stop it, bring them in, have that discussion about keeping your hands to yourself. Personal space. Why should we not be so close to others in PE? And that would be a great way to do it without having to pull any videos if maybe you don't have access to a projector, or if you just don't have time to mess with the video. You could easily do that with a demonstration and with scholars. As you may know, there are 8 key concepts in PYP. We focus on a couple key concepts each unit. We're not going to overwhelm anyone with that. The key concepts that will be focused on here are function, change, and responsibility. But really several concepts could work, okay? I mean, those are by no means set in stone. When you are thinking about your key concepts, you want to think about how these big ideas connect to your subject. For example, function is about how something works. Personal space has a function for keeping us safe. And remember, you want to tie everything back in to keeping ourselves safe, keeping our classmates safe, keeping our teachers safe. Everything goes back to safety. Change is self-explanatory. Learning the rules and procedures makes PE more fun for everyone. And responsibility, well, back to that safety. We are responsible for our own safety and for keeping our classmates safe. We do the same process with the related concepts, which are a little more subject specific. The related concepts that will be focused on here are communication, remind your classmates about the rules, behavior, personal space, and following the rules. It all goes down to their behavior. Roles, well, this is going to be introduced when you have exercise leaders that are also helping to make sure everyone's performing the exercises safely. Rights, everyone has the right to personal space while exercising, and everyone has the right to exercise in a safe space. There is space for where you can emphasize the central idea of keeping yourself and others safe. Pretty much that, as you hopefully could notice, that is just an ongoing theme throughout the unit. All key and related concepts are tied into the overarching idea of safety and personal space. Keep going on with that. This is a concept that we cannot stress enough to our kinder scholars. They don't understand that we can't hold hands while we're running top speed through the gym and that type of thing. So it's super important. The lines of inquiry that will be addressed in this unit are: we make observations to learn, explore myself by learning about my family and friends, and compare ourselves to others using observations. Now you're probably thinking, well, wait a minute, how are we connecting to all that? Well, we're exploring myself and learning about my family and friends. We're exploring how to be safe, how to move around and work with each other, not against each other, not hitting each other as we run by. And yes, I realize that is a bit of a stretch, but it's definitely something we can tap into here. Exploring we make observations to learn. That goes right back to our provocation, observing what I'm doing. I'm sitting too close to these scholars, or sometimes we don't even have to provide a demonstration. Sometimes it just happens, and we see that little Susie over there decided to hold hands with little Jenny, and they fell down. And that happens quite often with our kinder scholars. So yes, observations are very key with this unit. The comparing ourselves to others using observations, that again, it goes into, as we're learning these concepts, having the scholars look at what they're doing versus what maybe another scholar is doing, whether it's positive or negative. We also can have them comparing what they're doing to what it is we're doing for our demonstrations. All of these lines of inquiry can be found on your campus unit plan or POI. And again, double check with your campus leaders about the POI. You can see these lines of inquiry are kind of broad. So in my unit planner, I added notes about how I will connect to the lines of inquiry in PE. For example, the first one, we make observations to learn, is easy. We all observe teachers and classmates as they're modeling personal space, like I mentioned. Observations are going to be key in the unit. We must constantly demonstrate appropriate movement, behavior, and procedures to ensure our youngest scholars are being safe as possible during PE classes. I can't stress that enough. Just model the behavior you want to see constantly. Be sure to emphasize key vocabulary such as personal space, general space, the difference being your own personal space that you're moving in versus the general space being our gym or whatever space it is you have to teach in. You want to make sure they understand what rules are and what the word rules means. Safety, and of course locomotor skills and what that means, the movement around and the different types of movement. It is imperative that scholars understand the concept of personal space and how it relates to taking care of each other. This should all be tied to the importance of following the rules for safety and respecting personal space. Assessment in this unit can be very tricky as we are dealing with our youngest scholars, as I continue to keep mentioning, and trying to assess them can be a bit tricky, especially this early in the game. I have created a rubric that assesses their mastery level and understanding of the concepts of personal space and safety. This assessment ties to the concepts of personal space and safety to the key and related concepts of function, responsibility, rights, and behavior. I have not proficient enough at Camtasia to pull that rubric up for you right now without totally botching this whole video. However, the rubric for that assessment is posted, and this video is not a substitute, again, for live action version. Please call me, text me, email me. I will talk you through that rubric if need be, but it is available to you, because trust me, I do understand that it is difficult to find a way to assess these little ones, but it's imperative that we do, because we can't move on to bigger, better, more fun things and more units, if you will, without having this basis. This Unit 1 is pretty important. During whole group discussion, allow time for scholars to inquire about ways they can apply the rules and concepts of personal space and safety to their families and communities. That ties in that family and community piece. And it's important for them to understand that it's not just in PE that we need to be safe, that we need to respect personal space. One way that I do it, and there's an activity that I use that ties it to cars moving on the road and how we have to keep space. I actually have the scholars wear a hula hoop, or hold a hula hoop, not wear it, hold a hula hoop around them, and they move around, and they can't, nobody's hula hoops can bump or touch as they're moving around the gym. And we might walk, we might tiptoe, we might skip, or even run. And they have to make sure they don't have any wrecks, meaning they don't bump anyone. And that's a really good way to tie that to what's happening outside of PE, what's happening outside of school. And you can tie it to how we need to make sure, we are safe at home, and we are giving enough space when we're playing at home, whether it be on a trampoline, a bicycle, what have you. In the reflection piece of the unit, be sure to be very honest with yourself about the level of inquiry your scholars achieved. And I say that only because I know that doing this last year, I don't think I was. I was like, oh no, they did great. And really, I don't think they were. They were just like, sure, yeah, coach, we're going to be safe. And you want them during these whole group discussions to really think about, okay, well, I should probably be able to be safe at home when I'm riding my bike, and having them verbalize that and have that discussion. And as kindergartners, they will. They're going to want to discuss everything with you. I had several that wanted to discuss how they need to be safe when they're walking their dog. So, yeah, they're more than capable of it. We just have to facilitate the discussion so as they can have that type of inquiry. And if it doesn't happen, and you're like, yeah, okay, it's pretty much sit and get, what have you. Of course, they're up, moving, but as far as the understanding of the inquiry part, be honest in your reflection, okay? This is the first go-around. Like I said, I know I didn't do the best job of it last year. So just be honest with yourself and know that you need to work on it for next time. And you can this particular unit, these concepts, these skills, they're not going away, as we all know. This is something we'll have to touch on even in Unit 2, even though we're going to be putting more focus on locomotor skills with the kinder scholars in Unit 2. Personal space, safety, doesn't go away, and then we have to really refocus on it at the end of the year. So anyway, please just be honest with yourself and the reflection piece. And honestly, this hopefully will help you kind of think through the unit and guide you into the next unit. With that being said, that's really all I have to say about it. My hope is to be a little bit more interactive for my next unit preview, and to keep learning and doing more tricks with this for you all for next time. But please know that these videos are no substitute for the live action version of this, which is me, and I'm happy to answer any and all questions and help in any way I can. All right, well, as Tigger would say, ta-ta for now, and thank you.